Hello everyone, I'm Abhishek Nath and welcome to Chew the Fat presented by Optodi. Optodi stands for Open to Discussion और यहाँ पे we invite everyone, you, me, everyone else to come, discuss, share your opinions, share your thoughts and belief. और आज का जो प्रोग्राम है Chew the Fat, it's kind of a bit different. यहाँ पे हम लोग जैसे करते हैं debates and stuff, काफी serious रहता है माहौल. But in this one, we are gonna have some light-hearted chat. We are gonna have a chillaxing chat actually, to be very frank. And in here, the first episode we are going to discuss about series. और series में अभी अगर बात करें contemporary world में, there are two series that have rocked the world altogether. One is Game of Thrones and the other is Dark, right? Game of Thrones, जो कि English में this series has been created, and Dark actually is a German series, web series. And इन दोनों के बीच में जो फैंडम है, they are very polarized. I know कि गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स और डार्क का जो जॉनरा है वो बिल्कुल डिफरेंट है, बट स्टिल they will hurl stones at each other कि नहीं, game of thrones is the best one and dark is the best one. So obviously there is always some polarizing factor कि my series is the best, this one is the best. तो अभी हम लोग बात करेंगे, let's settle this thing all together, let's settle this feud all together. I'm going to introduce my panelists to you in front of you all. So, if you can have the panelists on screen, सबसे पहले we are having Mr. Pratik Giri, who will be the advocate of Game of Thrones. Then we have on screen Shivang Goyal, who will fight for Game of Thrones again, I guess. And we have Ankutika Mukherjee, who will fight for Dark. The lone woman would fight for Dark. And that is why she's wearing Addict. Netflix Addict. By the way, this is a disclaimer. This
Yeah, and
show is
and
not.
and this video is not sponsored by Netflix. It is not.
Yeah, this. I wish it was, but this is not. Right? I really wish.
Yeah.
And Pratik, man, how does it feel to be on the other side of the table?
No,
आप हमेशा ये positive.
it really feels different because I'm so chill right now. I am like कि मैं नहीं सुनूंगा तो भी चलेगा थोड़ी देर तक. Because whenever I'm on that side, it's like मुझे सुनना है because मुझे पूछना है.
Right. And Shivang, how serious are you for this very serious debate? Which
Well,
is, yeah,
to be honest, I'm very serious. I take this very seriously. I take whatever shows that I have to present very seriously, and I'm prepared
I'm
to
happy. My
defend Game
side
of
is
Thrones.
stronger.
But it's really hard to defend something and like the other one. And I love both shows very much. But since I'm here in this position, I will
Same.
definitely defend Game of Thrones.
all right. Okay. So let's start. तो फर्स्ट राउंड हम लोग ऐसा करेंगे कि सबको एक एक बार बोलने का मौका देते हैं. This is a democracy we are living in. I think so. So let's start with our first panelist. Pratik, say about Game of Thrones. Why do you think this is the best one?
Okay. Okay. So first of all, this is a very good platform because I am a cinephile, I'm a movie maniac, so I love to talk about it, and I don't have a platform where I can talk about it to a lot of people, and I'm doing it here, and I'm really happy about it. So, when being a maniac, I think when Game of Thrones ended, I was waiting for anything good to come up, and many things came in between. But Dark has its own level of this thing, thrilling part and all. So as a movie maniac, one thing ends and we wait for next big things to come. All right. But since we are comparing, and I am taking Game of Thrones side, in one statement that I would like to tell you, which I took from the name of these two things, Game of Thrones is the actual Dark series, and Dark is not dark enough. All right. So if you get it, yeah, that's the point. That's the whole thing is all about, and that sums it up, I guess. And I'll delve into it when we talk again. I'll delve into it. I'll give space to my co-participants, and then I'll delve into it. Bye.
All right. So dark is not dark enough. Game of Thrones is dark enough.
Actual dark.
Kongatika, how
Yeah.
do you revert to that?
Well, no, I don't think so. I mean, first of all, a bit of clarification. I am a diehard fan of Game of Thrones. Okay, you can see the poster
Yeah,
behind me.
you
It's
was.
Lena Headey.
You was.
Yeah,
Yep.
Cersei Lannister. I am House Lannister. I was House Stark, but then I just shifted to House Lannister
You
because
are House Lannister.
real. Yes, I am. Okay. So the thing is
Okay.
कि uh, the thing is कि dark I think is dark enough if you just you can I feel you can relate to it. I mean, Game of Thrones is all political and stuff, and it's just high end politics all around the
Mhm.
series. And dark is
Right.
like a very psychological and emotional attachment issues they have shown there, and I just related to it in a very different level. So I felt it that dark is pretty much dark. I mean, the name
So
justifies it, the series.
you say dark, we can relate to dark. So we can relate to time traveling. We have done that.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. What?
You said we can relate to dark much more than we can relate to Game of Thrones. Dark is about time traveling. So how can
No,
we
I
relate to
am not.
that?
No, no, I am not a time traveler. Okay. Another clarification. I am not.
Yeah.
No, so I just wanted to say कि डार्क में टाइम ट्रैवलिंग एंड दोनों का ही जॉनरा फैंटेसी और साइंस फिक्शन मतलब कुछ हद तक सिमिलर है. दोनों ही
Yeah.
फिक्शन बेस्ड है, सभी ठीक है, लेकिन आई पर्सनली थॉट कि गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स में जैसे इतना ज्यादा पॉलिटिक्स वगैरह जिस इरा का वो लोग दिखा रहे हैं उससे ज्यादा रिलेटेबल मुझे डार्क लगा. नाउ
Right.
मैं अगेन आई एम टेलिंग यू, अगर गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स का
Hmm.
एंडिंग इतना
Hmm.
खराब नहीं होता तो आई माइट नॉट हैव टुडे लाइक डिफेंडिंग डार्क. आई वुड हैव
Exactly.
बीन इन टीम जीओटी.
Pratik was actually mentioning about the ending of GOT, and I was thinking, bro, if you are a GOT advocate, you should not mention about the ending of GOT. I mean, इससे आपको बचना चाहिए. You should bypass it. And he was mentioning the ending. But we'll come to
See,
Pratik. I'm
okay,
going to
okay,
grill.
okay. I will answer that. Okay, we can go to Shivang, but I will answer this question later.
Yeah, Shivang.
So, personally, the reason I like Game of Thrones is because it's based in a fictional world called Westeros, and that whole world has different houses that are governing, and every house has their own capability. There are various characters which are totally fictional, and but they are, they represent values, and they are presented and created in such a manner that it projects those personalities that we do not see in the real world, and that's we get to enjoy the fantasy, the secret behind the fantasy. We get to enjoy that. And in dark, it's a bit of a scientific turn. It talks a lot about complex issues like time travel, which not a lot of people can understand. And to keep that in mind, it has its own distribution. It has its own viewer base, and Game of Thrones is relatable on a larger end because it doesn't have something that it gets to you in such a manner that you have to put your time, a little bit of time in it to understand it. It's very easy, regular human stuff. But in science, you're traveling back in time. It takes a little bit of time in dark to just pause the show and think about, okay, what just happened? What happened in the last 10 minutes? We have to take the pen and paper out and just write it down. Okay, this guy was here, this guy. You don't have to do that kind of things with Game of Thrones, and that makes it more versatile. And the only thing that people talk about shows in dark days, it's related to the real world. But what I like about the fantasy is the world they create. They create everything in it: the mountains, the houses, how the people dress, how the people live. Those kind of whimsical stuff brings the beauty out of the fantasy, which relates to everybody, because everybody wants to it just improves or broadens their imagination. And that's just that does not happen in dark up to that certain level.
Altogether a different world.
Yeah.
They have
In
created
Shivang
altogether
is
a
Beautiful
saying
world.
कि अगर कोई comic convention होता है, then Game of Thrones will win it like anything. अगर कोई
100%
comic
my
convention
team
होता
winner.
है और dress up होता है, Game of Thrones is the perfect winner.
Also, to
हाँ,
add to that
लेकिन
point, I
लेकिन
went to
लेकिन
Comic Con.
वेट, लेकिन गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स का अगर किसी को कॉस्ट्यूम मतलब उसमें इंसान ब्रोक हो जाएगा, ठीक है, अगर वैसा कॉस्ट्यूम और वैसा मेकअप किसी को करके कॉमिक कॉन में जाना है तो मतलब अगर डार्क का आपको करना है आप बस एक येलो रेनकोट पहन लो एंड यू आर चिल टू गो. आपको ज्यादा मेहनत भी नहीं करनी पड़ेगी.
No, no,
Cost
no.
effective.
People who are into these things, I mean, role playing and all these things, they are in it like big. They can spend thousands. They can spend tens of thousands for getting into the character and whatnot.
That
So,
that is true.
Shivang, I think you had some more points, but I'm going to come to you later. Yes, Pratik, let's have the cat out of the bag.
Okay,
The
so do
ending
you
of
want me to defend the ending?
yeah, defend the ending if you can. Let's see how you can.
Okay, okay. So no, first of all, the ending was bad. I am destroying my own line of defense. The ending was bad. Okay, but yeah,
No,
but then
I
again,
tend to disagree. The ending was not bad. It was very bad, actually.
it was very bad. Okay, all right. But you know what? The ending was so bad because people had like Game of Thrones. It its graph was like this. It was going like this. The expectation was very, very, very high. All right, and I'm not saying that if the expectation was high, those people there was a failure on the part of those people to deliver. But what really happened is that they went away from the script, the original story. All right, and that's why these things happen. I mean, होना चाहिए था, बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा होना चाहिए था एंडिंग, हम भी एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे थे. बट यू नो व्हाट, हमने कॉन्स्पिरेसी थियरीज इतनी बना ली थी, इतनी ज्यादा बना ली थी, और डायरेक्टर्स के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से अगर हम देखें तो उन लोगों को कुछ ऐसा देना था विच nobody was expecting, and they actually did what nobody was expecting. So they did badly, but they marked the spot. They really marked the spot.
So you are saying the conspiracy theories that came out, they were so good, so they had to do something very bad to be different.
No, they wanted to do good, all right.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, कि go to some pages, Reddit pages and all, you'll see इतना सारा कॉन्स्पिरेसी है, इतना सारा कॉन्स्पिरेसी कि ऐसे एंड होगा,
Exactly.
ये होगा, एमिलिया क्लार्क को
Exactly.
एंड में ऐसा मिलेगा, और मतलब किट हैरिंगटन को मिलेगा, नहीं नहीं इसको मिल जाएगा, उसको मिल
No,
जाएगा, ऐसे मिल जाएगा,
even
यू नो.
even I had a notebook which I filled with fan fictions that I wrote on my own. I mean, I was such a GOT nerd. I was like literally visiting Reddit fan fiction threads every night. It was like my hobby. बिफोर आई वेंट टू स्लीप दिस वाज माय हॉबी कि मुझे सारे फैन फिक्शन पढ़ना है और मुझे एकदम हर एक डीप मतलब जो भी एक्सप्लेनेशन आपको मिल सकता है जो भी फोकलोर्स है कुछ है सब में से कुछ ना कुछ आपको निकालना है और मैंने मतलब एक बहुत बड़े नोटबुक में सब लिख के रखा हुआ था क्या क्या हो सकता है प्रिडिक्टेबल एंडिंग्स
That's the
तो
point.
यही मैं बोल रही हूँ आई वॉज सो डिसअपॉइंटेड कि मतलब आप क्राउड फंड कर लेते आप क्राउड फंड कर लेते कि देखो हमसे ना हो पाएगा हम नहीं लिख सकते आप बस रेडिट वाले आके बना लो शो इससे बेटर एंडिंग आता
नहीं,
No,
Game
I
of
agree.
Thrones had
That would have been better because people had conspiracy theories for everything. Like people had conspiracy theories कि Jaime Lannister end में he'll be the main person.
hmm.
People had conspiracy theory कि Harrington will come, मतलब वो Jon Snow बन जाएगा. People had theory कि Emilia Clarke will come at the end. People had theory for every character. People had theory for Arya Stark, वो बन जाएगी. But yeah, they wanted to surprise and they did.
Yeah, and there was also one ending जहाँ पे ये बताया गया Jon Snow will become the king of the White Walkers, and I was like, अच्छा ये होने दो यार, ये अगर होता है तो that will be like things will come crashing down. There will be widespread riots in the world if this happens, but this did not happen. So, Shivang, how do you defend the ending of GOT?
Now I feel like defending Dark, by the way.
नहीं नहीं
but,
नहीं.
but to but to defend the ending of Game of Thrones, they had 7 seasons. They had a good run, and over a period of 3 episodes, I had kind of dropped off. In the first 3 episodes, it was a long time. They had to just end it, and I realized that the graph was not like this. It was like normal distribution. It was coming down only, and it just went what it was supposed to do. The normal distribution always wins. That is what my derivation is. It's always going down. And in my defense, in their defense, they did it. They did some kind of ending. They had to do something, and they were running out of ideas, and they were just decided to just sum it up and do something with it, and just end it, finish it, close the chapter, never to hear it again.
All right, that's some kind of a defense, but Konkotika, let me come to you. How do you defend this? You must obviously agree that Game of Thrones has been seen by almost double the number of people who have watched Dark, right? Now, that is out of the question. It's obviously it's a fact,
Yeah.
hard proven fact. In
Yeah.
IMDb, Game of Thrones has 9.3 rating out of 10. Dark has 8.8. क्यों?
Okay. Well, I mean, IMDb ratings are dependent on user reviews, right? As
Right?
much as I know,
Yeah. It's a
right?
user review.
तो द थिंग इज डार्क के लिए ऐसा है ना कि डार्क का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है जो इतना वो मतलब टाइम ट्रेवलिंग पे ज्यादा जोर दे के बनाया गया है ना कि लोगों के
Hmm.
दिमाग के ऊपर से बहुतों के दिमाग के ऊपर से गया है और एक चीज है कि डार्क देखते वक्त आप मतलब मल्टीटास्किंग नहीं कर सकते ऐसा नहीं है कि
हाँ.
बैकग्राउंड में चल रहा है आप कुछ कर रहे हो ऐसा आप नहीं कर सकते तो आपको फुल मतलब 110% कॉन्सेंट्रेशन के साथ देखना है और पॉज करके आपको वो पैराडॉक्स जो फिजिक्स में जैसे टाइम ट्रैवलिंग का दिखाते हैं कि इसमें ये पैराडॉक्स होने वाला है इसमें ये प्रॉब्लम होगा तो वो आपको लेजिट पढ़ना पड़ेगा थ्योरी समझना
Right.
पड़ेगा कि क्या है क्या नहीं है तो ऑब्वियसली
Right.
लोगों को मतलब गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स वाज अ व्हाट कैन आई से इट वाज अ फन वॉच उसमें आप ज्यादा
Yeah.
इन्वॉल्व हो सकते थे डार्क में भी आप हो सकते हो अगर आपको उतना इंटरेस्ट है इस चीजों पे डार्क स्टार्टेड इन अ वेरी स्लो पेस देन इट मतलब पिक्ड अप ओके तो बहुत लोगों को जब मैंने पर्सनली रेकमेंड किया कि आप डार्क देखो तो बहुत लोग ऐसे बोल रहे थे कि यार ये तो बहुत स्लो है इतना स्लो सीरीज कौन देखेगा क्योंकि टाइम ट्रैवलिंग तक आते आते कि क्या हो रहा है वो सस्पेंस तक आते आते बहुत लोगों को लगा कि इसका तो मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है मैं नहीं कंटिन्यू करूंगा अब ये
Actually,
चीज
that
गेम ऑफ
is
थ्रोन्स के लिए भी है गेम ऑफ
नहीं.
थ्रोन्स जितना
Actually,
हाइप
no.
हुआ था गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स का व्यूअर्स इतना बढ़ गया था क्योंकि गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स
Mhm.
हाइप भी तो बहुत हुआ था और वो शो चला भी है बहुत टाइम से डार्क का सिर्फ 3 ही सीजन था और वो बैक टू बैक सीजन आते गया ठीक है तो वो
Right.
उतना टाइम भी उसको नहीं मिला जितना हाइप गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स को मिला है 7-8 साल से डार्क को भी सात
Mhm.
आठ साल अगर दे दिया जाए तो शायद उसका भी आईएमडीबी रेटिंग बढ़ ही जाएगा
No. Nobody would want another season of Dark. People have their own
नहीं
problems.
डार्क
Do not want.
No,
No,
I want one
there
season, by the
won't
way.
be because no, there won't be a season because Dark का already ending इतना satisfactory है कि आपको
No.
नहीं
We
चाहिए
can.
होगा आप
We
Yeah.
can
That's
always
I
that
come
want
out
it.
with one more season.
people want
हाँ.
last episode of Game of Thrones again. That is the thing.
ये तो
Dark
है
का नहीं चाहिए
ये तो है
Game of
मतलब
Thrones
आप लोगों को पता है मैं जेन्युइनली मैंने एक पिटिशन साइन किया था change.org पे जिसमें डीएनडी को हम लोगों ने भेजा था पिटिशन कि आप रीमेक कीजिए
Okay, but now again, there is this point. अगर कैरेक्टर्स की बात करें तो गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स के कैरेक्टर्स they are going to live much longer than Dark का characters.
Yes.
100.
Well, they have life of their own and many
Yeah.
characters. Not like कि एक character और दो character. It's like कि many of the characters are so well. They deserve the thing, you know. They deserve to live on for a long,
Actually,
long time.
वही गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स के कैरेक्टर्स के आप नाम अगर बोलो तो यू कैन नेम 10 कैरेक्टर्स यू हैव देम इन योर मेमोरी डार्क का आप बोलो यू विल हैव एग्जैक्टली
Yeah,
दैट इज व्हाट
वो problem है.
A hard time.
you will have Jonas. Yes, I was trying to actually remember his name actually. You will have Jonas and Martha. And who else? How do you defend that, Pankaj?
नहीं ये सही बात नहीं है आई थिंक मतलब मुझे भी याद नहीं है सारे कैरेक्टर्स के नाम डार्क में सो और मुझे जीओटी का नाम सबसे ज्यादा पता है सबका ये भी सही बात है लेकिन ये सब मतलब बेकार का लॉजिक है ये कोई लॉजिक है नहीं और सही बात है इन दोनों में से कोई भी सीरीज आई डोंट थिंक कि रिवॉचेबल है मतलब गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स भी आपको अगर मतलब ऐसे नहीं है किसी आइसोलेटेड एपिसोड को आप लेके देखने बैठ जाओ आज चिल करने का मन है तो गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स का सपोज सीजन 5 का एपिसोड नंबर 10 देख लेते हैं ऐसा भी
I
आप
think
नहीं कर
Shivang
सकते
would disagree. I think Shivang would disagree. Shivang, would you rewatch Game of Thrones?
Well, I would definitely watch, but it's not like you have to watch the whole thing. You know, if you're watching from anywhere, you can watch how much ever
You know what
is,
happened?
enough for you. So you can
The
stop
GOT
after 20 minutes if you feel like. You can make
the
it a
GOT
sitcom with
gamer.
20 episodes. It's okay. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Also, we forget one thing that Game of Thrones is based on books, and the books were highly popular and they were bought by a lot of people, and they are deeper than the script that we have for TV shows. So that is why the fan base is so big, and since it's a fantasy world, it's so fun to dress up and to just collect memorabilia. We can people do that all the time. My friend has a sword, everybody has t-shirts, and much more than that. I mean, this is what Jon Snow wore in the third episode, stuff like that people collect. And you
Yeah.
cannot buy the time machine from dark and keep it in your house as a decorative. So
No, I agree
just
with
one more thing.
Shivang. I agree with him because मैं भी उसी कैटेगरी में आती हूँ जिसमें मतलब कौन से एपिसोड में किसने क्या पहना था। अगर मुझे कॉमिक कॉन में जाने का मौका कभी मिल जाए तो मैं भी वही चूज कर लूंगी ऐसा कुछ कि उस एपिसोड में सांसा ने क्या पहना था या सरसी ने क्या पहना था या फिर आर्या ने क्या पहना था। तो आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट। लेकिन जैसे शिवंग ने पहले बोल रहा था ना कि एस्थेटिक्स के बारे में कि गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स का सेट डिजाइनिंग एंड ऑल दैट वो बहुत सुंदर है, एकदम एक्यूरेटली वो लोगों ने एक वर्ल्ड क्रिएट किया था। आई एग्री, मतलब उसके लिए मतलब मैं नहीं क्रिटिसाइज कर सकती कुछ। लेकिन डार्क के बारे में भी मैं बोल रही हूँ कि डार्क का भी एक अलग जॉनरा का एस्थेटिक्स है और दोनों का ही एक सिमिलर चीज ये है कि दोनों का ही एस्थेटिक्स बहुत ही डार्क ग्रंज टाइप का है। तो मुझे पर्सनली डार्क का एस्थेटिक्स बहुत ही रिलेटेबल लगा था। ऐसा नहीं है कि गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स का नहीं लगा था, इट वाज ब्यूटीफुल, इट वाज लाइक मिसमराइजिंग टू वॉच, सब सही है। लेकिन डार्क का मुझे एस्थेटिक्स बड़ा पसंद था, इसलिए मैंने डार्क का तो मतलब हर जगह में मेरा वॉलपेपर भी डार्क थीम का था और मैंने टी
Dark
शर्ट
mode.
वगैरह भी डार्क का ऑर्डर कर दिया था कि
At
Chrome
this
मुझे
में भी
वो
dark
वाला
mode.
एस्थेटिक्स लाना है।
Yeah, at this point, we can agree that this is a conversation for the nerds, right? I mean, screen wallpaper dark का पीछे wall में
I have a Harry
geometry.
Potter.
Yeah, see, we have a Harry Potter.
या
Potterhead.
So,
अब
I am a Potterhead.
अभी अभी मैं बोल रही हूँ, मैं ऑप्टोडी की टीम में ना सब एक एक इविल टाइप के इंसान बैठे हैं। अभी जैसे ये जीओटी और डार्क में कर दिए है ना छेड़छाड़, वैसे कर देंगे हैरी पॉटर और लॉर्ड ऑफ द रिंग्स में। और फिर मुझे अगर बुला ले कोई कि आके डिफेंड करो तो मैं फिर से वही नहीं कर पाऊंगी डिफेंड। मतलब मैं ऑलवेज ग्रे एरिया में बिलोंग करती हूँ ये सब चीजों में,
I
हर
can always
फैंडम का मैं
defend Lord of
पार्ट
the
हूँ।
Rings. I can always defend
Okay,
Lord of the
okay.
Rings. Harry
One
Potter
thing,
is like nothing, crap.
like one thing, 1 second. Rewatch.
ओ माय गुडनेस,
I'm
Okay,
urgent here.
okay. Let's
आई
see
कैन नॉट।
what
आप लोगों
Pratik
से
is
रिश्ता
about.
खत्म आज मेरा।
All right, let's hear out Pratik. Yeah, Pratik.
Okay. One thing, rewatchable series की बात हो रही थी, which among who is rewatchable. Okay, so alright, this thing happened before 8th season of Game of Thrones came up. So in London, they organized this thing. There was like a marathon of all 7 seasons, and it was like pizza and marathon of Game of Thrones. It was like they'll serve you
या
pizzas and you have to just sit and relax and watch Game of Thrones all 7 seasons. If this happens for Game of Thrones and or Dark, I'll choose to go in Game of Thrones one. Okay. So
Yeah.
या घर में बैठ के शायद मैं बार बार ना देखूं गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स को और ऐसा ना करूं, बट या इफ दिस थिंग हैपेंस आई विल गो इनटू गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स एंड नॉट डार्क.
So I want to ask Konkotika, since she's defending Dark. So I'm gonna ask her one thing. That see, अच्छा मैं ऑडियंस को बोलना चाहूंगा स्पॉइलर अलर्ट. आई थिंक सबने गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स अभी तक देख ही लिया होगा. So when Jon Snow died, and that episode when he was resurrected, when he came to life, have you seen the reaction of the people who were watching? There were separate YouTube
yes,
videos that had hit
yes,
millions.
I did, मतलब all over the world there were people watching it over when they were in pubs or theaters and all that,
Yeah,
and the reactions,
yeah.
it was hilarious and that was my reaction too. But then after some time passed, मुझे लगा कि ये जो हो रहा है ना, मतलब ये लोग पॉपुलर डिमांड में जॉन स्नो को वापस लेके आ गए क्योंकि लोगों को लग ही रहा था कि जॉन स्नो को मार देंगे तो मतलब 70% ऑडियंस तो वहीं पे चली जाएगी।
That is a separate question.
नहीं
But in no
नहीं
moment in
लेकिन
Dark, you could have this moment जहाँ पे people would get so much involved into this. People are like, okay, this is a complex series. This has concepts which is not entering my brain, and I really don't care that much about it. So how can you defend Dark on this one?
अरे आई हैव फ्रेंड्स जिन लोगों को गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स का कुछ समझ में नहीं आया, जो लोग मतलब ऐसा, मैं ये नहीं बोल रही हूँ कि एक दो जन है, बहुत लोगों को मैंने आज तक बोला है कि गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स आप लोग देखिए, आप लोगों को अच्छा लगेगा। और सभी को मतलब उनमें से करीबन अगर मैंने 10 लोगों को बोला होगा तो उनमें से 5 लोगों ने मुझे यही बोला है कि नहीं वो बहुत ज्यादा कॉम्प्लेक्स है, वो मतलब इतना सारा कैरेक्टर सबका नाम ही नहीं याद रहता, हर एक
Plus
एपिसोड में
violent.
कोई नया कैरेक्टर आ जाता है। तो तो
Acha, let's talk about another thing. Shivang, let me come to you first. Which series can you watch with your parents? Game of Thrones or Dark?
Okay, so parents, I think I will watch Dark because it's only 3 seasons and I don't have to watch it for a very long time. So
Yeah, that's the
Pratik,
reason.
can you watch
it'll get
either
over
of
after
the
3 seasons.
yeah? Pratik, can you watch either of the series with your parents?
I guess I'll go with Dark. I won't go with Game of Thrones. But it's like I suggested Game of Thrones to many people, matlab, and many people watched it, but some of the answers were it's too violent. One thing. So I am pretty much sure if I'll show this thing, Game of Thrones, to my parents, they'll be like, number one, it's too violent. Number two, it's too much nakedness for Indian standards. So yeah, that will be awkward too. So no, no Game of Thrones.
Right. So एक लास्ट पैरामीटर के बारे में बात करते हैं अबाउट द कंसेप्ट एंड लेट्स टॉक अ बिट टेक्निकल, थोड़ा सा सीरियस करते हैं एक्टिंग। अगर बात करें विच सीरीज वुड यू से हैज द बेस्ट एक्टिंग और अ बेटर एक्टिंग? बोथ ऑफ देम हैव गुड एक्टिंग ऑब्वियसली, बट किसमें आप बोलोगे कि ज्यादा बिलीवेबल है, ज्यादा अच्छा है? प्रतीक, प्लीज गो फर्स्ट।
I will go with no series तो ठीक ही है, मतलब both series have good actors, but I'll go with single person. I'll go with Peter Dinklage alone, hands down.
Yeah, exactly.
He alone can take Game of Thrones to heights. He's like this wonderful actor.
Yeah.
So yeah, Game of Thrones. I'll go with Game
मुझे
of Thrones
इसमें डार्क को
definitely.
डिफेंड नहीं करना है, मतलब आप पीटर डिंकलेज का नाम ले रहे हो तो मुझे अब और कुछ बोलना ही नहीं है, क्योंकि ये मतलब सीरियसली गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स मतलब दोनों सीरीज का ही एक्टिंग, कास्टिंग सब कुछ एकदम परफेक्ट है, सबका एक्सप्रेशन, सब कुछ इन्वॉल्वमेंट बहुत अच्छा है, सब कुछ ठीक है, लेकिन सीरियसली पीटर डिंकलेज ने अकेले ही गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स को एक अलग मतलब स्टैंडर्ड पे लाके खड़ा कर दिया, ये तो बात सही है।
शिवा?
But Game of Thrones hands down because they have deeper characters, much more complex characters, which we do not find in unique situations. So it
Yeah,
has so
yeah.
much
In fact, again,
complexity in terms of the depth in or the psychology of the character, that it would definitely bring out wonderful characters whoever would play. If I would go out on a limb and say that even the actors from Dark would play characters on Game of Thrones, they would be as much popular as they as the usual characters are. So because of the depth in the character, you would find that the actors and the whole art form of acting came out beautifully with flying colors.
Yeah.
Which we do not, with the characters in Dark are not that complex. They are complex, but only to a certain kind of people. They have their own audience, like Big Bang Theory. They have their own audience. So similarly, those sci-fi heads. I am one of those sci-fi heads, but they have their own sort of things which aren't popular.
Yeah, Pratik, you were saying?
in Game of Thrones, it's like the Joffrey आया था and it what's the character's name? Ramsay, I guess. Battle of Bastards के अंदर
Yeah.
Ramsay होता है. So I literally felt like kill him, just go and kill him. I hate him. So it's literally I felt it from within me that kill him, he's so bad, he's evil. So that thing I felt so strongly for Game of Thrones character wise. And I didn't felt that for Dark. Dark acting was really good, but I didn't felt that.
Yeah, Game of Thrones had adrenaline points, much more
Yeah.
adrenaline points, and maybe that is the reason थोड़ा सा dark पीछे रह जाता, because it does not have a villain, right? मतलब एक जो
हाँ.
identifiable villain है वो नहीं है, जैसे dark Game of Thrones mein hai, right? Maybe Avengers is that is why it is so successful because it has a very good villain, Thanos, right? And so, guys, thank you very much for coming. So, this was our chat. It was a pretty, a relaxed chat. हम लोग we always discuss so many serious topics. So we thought कि एक चलो ऐसे ही एक segment बनाते हैं जहाँ पे we are gonna take everything pop culture and everything that is going on in this world as of now. ऐसी बहुत सारे tensions है यार थोड़ा सा let's chill. So thank you very much, Pratik. Thank you very much, Konkotika. Thank you very much, Shivang, for your time. So I hope we are gonna see you again in the our upcoming shows. So till then, bye bye and thank you very much. And you audience,
Thank
if you
you.
want to come with us and participate, then do note down the email address and the phone numbers that are given down below. You can contact us and send us your participation interest, right? So we are going to see you in the next one. Kal हमारा 4:30 पे लेडीज कफरी सीजन 1 का एपिसोड 3 है. Do not forget to watch that, and it's going to be a blast. So, thank you. We are signing off. Bye bye. Good night.
Hmm.